Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com.
Well, you know what? It just keeps on getting better and better. I know. How is that possible given everything that we've got going on? And by the way, thank you for the feedback we continue to have when I interviewed the founder of CNBC. So make sure you go to Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align. Simple. Go there. Well, our next hero, he's creating products that are made in the USA. Yes, that's possible. We have the CEO and founder of Origin Maine. It's a based outfitter for combat sports and jeans, footwear, nutritional supplements, and more. So make sure you go to originmaine.com. Welcome to the show, Pete Roberts. We're going to learn so much from you today. And here we go. What are some of those most popular selling items?
Well, everything's pretty popular. We had of our roots in combat sports, but our denim blue jeans kind of picking up that market share. Some of the big dogs left behind when they abandoned manufacturing in America. So blue jeans are a hot item, and of course, footwear is also for us. But probably the hottest selling thing we make is with my business partner Jocko Willink, is the Jocko Fuel line of nutritional products. So everything's pretty popular. We have fun with all of it.
Now, talk to us about how you even got started. And by the way, yeah, Jocko we had on too, so make sure you listen to his interview at Eliances.com. Quite incredible. That's cool. You're carrying his product and created and everything of that. But how did you even get started with creating this site?
Yeah, well, the quick story is in 2012, I just saw a hole in the market, and being from the small community in Maine, watching all the mills shut down and the machines get exported and the job loss, thought it was time to rebalance our small town. And so we cut down a forest in my backyard and we built a little timber frame factory, bought some old LL Bean sewing machines from the 50s, started up a generator and started manufacturing product. We didn't know what we were doing. We were pretty naive, but a few years later, we moved into our first factory, and now we have 3 locations, 3 factories, and we're making all sorts of stuff: dirt to shirt, fiber to fabric, field to finish, whatever you want to call it. We make everything by hand here in Maine, and we're close to having about 100 people back to work manufacturing amazing products again.
I don't think anybody can believe it. You make things by hand in the USA. Is that possible?
It is possible. You got to think outside the box. And that's what we've done. We use some modern machinery on the front end of our business, but when it comes to actually making the product, it's real Americans building calluses every day, putting these goods together, whether it's footwear or jeans or gis for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's pretty awesome to witness every day.
And who are your target clientele? I mean, who are your target audience?
Yeah, I mean, we ship, throughout the world, but it's mostly within the U.S. Our demographic is broad, but we touch mostly men, I would say, 25, 30 to 50, who appreciate things made in America and understand how important our supply chains are, especially now how exposed we've been with this COVID pandemic. Our supply chains have been exposed, and so we've been rebuilding these supply chains over the past 8 years.
I mean, while it may be common sense, but really to help direct us is, what do you think are some of the benefits of having something manufactured in the U.S. than overseas?
Well, it comes down to really caring about community. I think that the lack of community has caused a lot of issues in today's society. And, when you strip away that thing that unifies, people around you, unifies America, unifies humanity, which is making things together. You take the people out of the factory, you take the things that are good to people when they walk away at the end of the day and they look back and they say, hey, I made that, we made that as a team together, that's so damn important. So, I think that times right now are showing how important that is.
Now, you've got over 20 years in branding and marketing and product development, all this. How do you know what's going to sell when you end up putting out, how do you do research on knowing what people want because again, you've got some of the coolest stuff.
Yeah, we look to the past. We don't look really around at other companies and what they're doing. Mostly, we look to the past. We say, what were our grandparents wearing? What were our great grandparents wearing and using? And how do we create those heirloom quality products again? What were the techniques they used? What was the weight of the fabrics? How are they woven together? And then what we do is we inject that with innovation, right? So we take that nostalgic, heritage-based, durable good, and we inject it with innovation. And that's how we go about. We don't do a ton of market research. We like to define what the consumer is going to need before they need it.
Well, you know what too is we're working with people that want to hear the things and hear and understand how and what you're able to do because you're listening, watching me, David Kogan, host of the Eliances Hero Show. So make sure that you go to Eliances.com. That's Eliances.com. It is the only place where entrepreneurs align because we have with us Pete Roberts, CEO and founder of Origin Maine. He's the based outfitter for combat sports, jeans, footwear, nutritional supplements, and more. In fact, Pete, you mentioned Jocko. You're working with celebrities, athletes, TV stars, and that. How do you, as a company, even how do you get those people on board to work with you?
Yeah, I mean, folks like that are just like everybody else. If they feel like there's something missing in their life, and maybe it was the manifestation of that old World War II story that all of our grandparents told us about, right? I think we kind of represent that heritage base, that thing that's missing in life. It's more than consumerism, it's a message and a mindset, and the message and mindset it transcends what we make, right, as far as product is concerned. But folks like Stone Cold Steve Austin was drinking one of our nutritional drinks the other day, not because we paid him, because he called Jocko and he was like, man, hook me up with some stuff. And so we have a lot of folks out there like that just want to represent what we're doing, because we're working on the same frequency, more or less.
Now, talk to us about what were you doing prior to Origin Maine that really you feel helped prepare you for being successful?
Oh man, losing everything during the last economic crisis in 2009, selling everything I owned except for my home, trying to take care of a wife and two young kids, and knowing I'm never going back there. So I wake up every day with a fire under my ass to win. And I will outwork anybody, anytime, anywhere. So that's just the mindset. That's kind of embedded in me from prior experiences.
And you mentioned as being a father, how do you instill those type of secrets into your children? And what kind of advice can you give for parents, for others to be able to instill it in their children?
I grew up with 2 or 3 channels on the television, so we didn't have the TV to watch except for the nightly news. And my mom always said, hey, guys, you don't have a lot to do, but you have the woods. And we lived out in this old farmhouse, and she said, be creative and find things to do. So I try to take those concepts with my own. And during vacations, I bring them into the factory, and we ask the kids to pick one of the departments to work within. They both gravitate towards media. One of them has done embroidery, the other one has done some sewing. So getting hands-on and making something and guiding them, and not doing it for them, but just guiding them to be able to make something has really helped us. And I feel like they're 17 and 14 now, and I feel like they have a great work ethic, and they're respectful, and they see that regardless of where you are or who you are in life, you have a gift to contribute to society, and they get to see that in this melting pot we call Origin, these factories. So
we're getting some comments from listeners who wanted to ask some questions. First is in regards to your website. How come it is so attractive, and how did you develop to really pull people in? I mean, it's got that style, it's got the pictures that pop, the descriptions that's one of maybe more of the difficult things for people who have doing websites and selling product.
Yeah, sure. So that, my background is in media, but we do everything in house. So we have our own media department. It's key to the business because we call it the distillery, because everything that happens in all of our facilities, it gets distilled through the media department and projected like a prism to the world, right? And so, we're trying to capture that authenticity in the workers in an image or in a video is so important. And so we just control the look and feel and the messaging and narrative that goes out through that prism.
Well, Pete, incredible what you're doing. Keep on doing it. Pete Roberts, CEO and founder of Origin Maine. You could reach him at originmaine.com. And of course, we'll have it on our website at Eliances.com. And thank you for making the products in the USA. That's right. It makes a difference in your community. And you know what? Promoting your mission, that's incredible. That's what makes a hero. So make sure you check out Pete Roberts' website by going to originmaine.com. This has been David Kogan with the Eliances Hero Show.